Ladies and gentlemen, buckle your seatbelts, because this scandal didn't just simmer, it exploded. Picture this. The man you built your life with, the one you called your king, the one you defended through thick and thin, walks away. Not only does he walk away, but he leaves you for a woman who already had another man waiting in the wings. Sounds like something straight out of a soap opera, right? But this isn't fiction. This is hip-hop royalty clashing in real time. Remy Ma, the queen of bars and the voice of grit, just dragged Papoose in front of the entire world. And she didn't just toss shade, she burned him under a spotlight so bright it could melt steel. This wasn't a subtle jab, this was humiliation in its rawest form. Now, let's slow it down and ask the real questions. How does a man go from being praised as the most loyal husband in the rap game to being the punchline of his own love story? What does this betrayal tell us about loyalty, trust, and respect when fame and temptation are in the mix? And more importantly, how did Papoose's private choices spiral so far out of control that he ended up in the middle of one of the messiest triangles hip-hop has ever seen? The internet is blazing right now. Fans are taking sides, timelines are full of memes, and the debates are getting hotter than a summer block party. And you already know, Gossip Spill Vibe is here to unpack every savage comment, every clapback, and every twist in this messy saga. From hip-hop's golden couple to cracks in the crown. To understand why Remy Ma's public takedown shook the internet, we need to rewind. For years, Remy Ma and Papoose weren't just a couple. They were the example, the Bonnie and Clyde of hip-hop. They married in 2008 while Remy was behind bars, and Papoose held her down during all those long years. No scandals, no side chicks, no mess. At least not in the public eye. Fans saw them as rare proof that loyalty could survive the pressure of the spotlight. When Remy came home, they built a family together. In 2018, they welcomed their daughter, Reminisce. And for a while, it looked like the storybook ending we don't often see in hip-hop. Love, loyalty, and a little one to seal the bond. They were celebrated, adored, untouchable. But fairy tales don't always last. Behind the smiles, whispers started floating. Rumors of distance, whispers of temptation, hints that something wasn't as perfect as it seemed. And then came the storm, the name Claressa Shields. Enter Claressa Shields, the champion who stole the spotlight. Claressa, the undefeated boxing powerhouse, entered the picture like a heavyweight punch. Strong, young, powerful, and already carving out her legacy in sports history. Her charisma and energy lit up every room, and somewhere in that glow, she caught Papoose's attention. At first, the rumors felt a little like gossip. He said, she said, that no one could prove. But then came the leaks. DMs, photos, cryptic posts, and suddenly the whispers turned into headlines. Claressa didn't exactly hide it either. She stepped into the spotlight, flashing a tattoo of Papoose's name like it was a championship belt. That was bold. But here's where it turned from messy to jaw-dropping. While flaunting her new love, Claressa was reportedly already engaged to another man. Yes, engaged. A hidden fiancé who was blindsided by the whole spectacle. That revelation didn't just sting fans, it shattered Remy Ma's world. Remy's clapback, you played yourself. When the truth finally hit, Remy Ma didn't stay silent. She grabbed the mic of the internet and unleashed one of the most savage clapbacks hip-hop has seen in years. On a viral Instagram Live, with her voice steady but heavy with emotion, she put it all out there. You left me for a woman who already had a fiancé. You played yourself. That one sentence hit harder than a diss track. It wasn't just heartbreak, it was humiliation on full display. And because it came from Remy, a woman known for her unshakable confidence, the world stopped to listen. Within minutes, the clip spread everywhere. Twitter exploded with memes. TikTok Talk flooded with reaction videos. Hashtags like Remy said what we were thinking and hashtag Papoose played himself climbed the charts. Even celebrities couldn't resist weighing in. Some applauding Remy for standing strong. Others debate whether airing dirty laundry in public was the right move. Either way, the damage to Papoose's image was brutal. Claressa's silence and the hidden fiancé. While Remy was torching the internet, Claressa tried a different strategy. Silence. She focused on her training, her fights, her career. But silence can only do so much when the world is buzzing with your name. Insiders whispered about her team scrambling to manage the PR nightmare. Some leaked messages suggested Clarissa herself felt trapped, writing to
Friend, I never meant to hurt anyone. It just happened. But the fiancé, that was complicated. That message made things worse. Instead of cooling the fire, it added gasoline. Suddenly, Clarissa wasn't just seen as the woman who stole a married man. She was also painted as someone who betrayed her fiancé. At the same time, her once shining reputation was now tangled in scandal. Papoose is in hiding. And what about Papoose, the man who once wore the crown of loyal hip-hop husband? He went quiet. No Instagram posts, no interviews, no tweets, just silence. But silence speaks. Fans noticed, and instead of sympathy, they roasted him harder. Memes compared him to characters from sitcoms who lose everything. Jokes flew about him trading a queen for chaos. The once respected rapper now had his legacy reduced to punchlines. Behind closed doors, insiders say Papoose was struggling. Guilt, regret, embarrassment. Not just about losing Remy, but about losing the respect of fans who once looked at him as an example of real love in a fake world. A calculated move by Remy. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. According to people close to Remy, her viral Instagram rant wasn't just raw emotion, it was a strategy. Remy knew the world was watching. She knew the gossip was already swirling. So instead of letting the internet control the story, she took control. She flipped the script by putting Papoose's betrayal in her own words. She owned the narrative, and in doing so, she regained her power. And let's be real, she succeeded. Fans crowned her the winner of this round. Comment sections filled with support, with women praising her strength and men shaking their heads at Papoose's downfall. The bigger picture. But this scandal isn't just about a messy breakup. It's about what happens when loyalty collides with fame, when private mistakes spill into the public eye, and when love, money, and power mix in ways that leave no one walking away clean. Clarissa now has to rebuild her image. Papoose has to live with the fact that his reputation may never recover. And Remy? She walks away scarred but stronger, with millions cheering her name. And for the fans? Well, they got front row seats to one of the most explosive dramas hip-hop has ever seen. What's next? The question now is what happens in the next chapter. Will Clarissa's hidden fiancé finally speak? Will Papoose break his silence and try to explain his side? Or will Remy keep dropping bombs until the entire story is laid bare? The internet has seen its fair share of scandals, but this one feels different. It has the perfect ingredients of betrayal, heartbreak, and raw public drama. What started as whispers in the background has now exploded into one of the biggest stories in both hip-hop and sports culture. The names at the center of it all? Papoose, Remy Ma, and Clarissa Shields. For years, Papoose and Remy Ma were considered one of the strongest couples in hip-hop. Their relationship wasn't just another celebrity romance. It symbolized loyalty, endurance, and resilience. When Remy was behind bars, Papoose didn't just stick around, he married her in 2008 while she was still incarcerated. That move earned him praise across the industry as a man who stood by his woman no matter the circumstances. When she was finally released, the two reunited and welcomed their daughter in 2018, giving fans the perfect picture of a couple who had beaten the odds. But behind the polished public image, cracks began to appear. Rumors of distance and infidelity started surfacing, though neither Papoose nor Remy openly addressed them at the time. And then came Clarissa Shields, a world champion boxer, outspoken, ambitious, and unapologetically confident. Her entry into the picture changed everything. What started as speculation quickly turned into headlines. Leaked messages, private meetups, and subtle hints on social media made it clear that Papoose was involved with Clarissa. For many fans, it was shocking. How could a man once praised as hip-hop's most loyal husband suddenly be linked to another woman? The revelation hit even harder when Clarissa seemed to confirm the relationship herself, going as far as showing off a tattoo of his name. But here's where the story twisted into something messier. Clarissa was reportedly already engaged to another man during this affair. That detail didn't just rattle fans, it shattered Remy Ma's trust in the most public way possible. And Remy didn't keep quiet. In a now viral Instagram Live, She unloaded her feelings with raw honesty and fiery precision. She didn't just say she was hurt, she called Papoose out in front of millions. Her words were sharp. "You left me for a woman who already had a fiancé." That line alone became the headline of the week. It wasn't just heartbreak, it was public humiliation. Social media lit up with reactions ranging from